Show me.
Hello everybody, Martial Arts Phone Freak here, and I want to talk about Power Rangers some more. I've had this idea for this video, for quite some time, and I just thought, I'm the Martial Arts Phone Freak, nobody really wants to hear me just talk about some Power Ranger stuff. But then I make a video about the movie Broken Path, and it does some pretty good views. I threw Power Rangers right on the thumbnail, and it's doing pretty good, so I'm like, okay, somebody wants to hear the Martial Arts Phone Freak talk about some Power Rangers. I've got one other Power Rangers idea for a video, and then I promise to the people who really don't care, it's just a phase. I promise. It's just a phase. I'll grow out of it when I'm like 8 years old. As I said in the Broken Path video, Power Rangers may be the reason that I got into... That light bulb is flickering, and I don't know if you can tell. I might go fix it in a second, but I gotta finish what I'm saying. Power Rangers may be the reason that I got into martial arts, because it was just so epic when you're like 4 years old and people are just kicking putties around. It's the best show around. And you would think as, a 25-year-old man I would grow out of it, but, who's to say what you can just grow out of these days? I mean, I don't watch the show anymore, but, it's nice to reminisce about the good old days. So let's do it. Let's do some reminiscing. Let's talk about the best martial artists in Power Rangers. So here it is. Here are my favorite martial artists to be Power Rangers. Number 8, Austin St. John. Austin St. John was, of course, the first Red Ranger. The first, he was probably actually like the 25th or something, if you're actually counting Sentai, which I will admit, I've never actually watched any Sentai at all, only Power Rangers, so you're probably not going to see any Sentai on this list. Sorry, hardcore tokusatsu nerds. But yes, the first Red Ranger, the embodiment of what it takes to be a Power Ranger. Good, nice teenager with attitude, who also is really good at karate. He was, of course, not just the first Red Ranger, but he was also the Gold Zeo Ranger when he returned in Zeo. With those roles, he brought with him a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo and a first-degree black belt in Judo. Definitely not someone you would want to mess with, especially if you're just a gray-faced putty man. However, the reason I have him, I guess, so low on this list, here's the thing. This isn't a top 10. This is just 8 people that I really like. The reason I'm mentioning him first here, though, if you had to say this is the lowest, is because as a martial artist, he never really did anything for me here, He's obviously, of course, a great fighter, a lot of skill, but I never really saw much personality in his style, not a lot of flair. It was just kind of your basic kicks and punches with a nice hee-haw in there. Didn't really do much for me. No disrespect, I just don't find myself, YouTube searching Austin St. John unmorphed fights. This next person, though, I do. Well, every now and again. He wasn't a Ranger that long, if you really think about it. Number 7, Walter Jones. Walter Jones was the OG, the original black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Again, really, he's probably like the 25th or something, but in terms of the American shows, he was the first. And with him, he brought originality, honestly. He was very original. Walter Jones came in with a black belt in Taekwondo and Hapkido, but his real passion lied with dance. He ended up incorporating that dance into his choreography, creating what in this show we pretty much called hip-hop kido. It was fun, it was hip, all the kids were doing it. But it's nice, though. It was very original. He was the first Ranger, or the first actor who got to kind of choreograph his own fights because he got to combine his skills in more than just martial arts with his choreography. So that's something that early on those Rangers weren't doing except for him. It was just a nice original flair that no one else had. He was always entertaining, always very fun to watch. Hip-hop Kido looked so cool on screen. It probably works really well beating up a bunch of putties. Probably doesn't work that well on the street. But, in terms of just entertainment value, love me some Hip-hop Kido. Keeping it with the Mighty Morphin, we're moving on to the second Red Ranger. After Austin St. John left, he was replaced by number 6, Steve Cardenas. Cardenas. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's great. Steve Cardenas had some pretty heavy shoes to fill as Rocky, the second Red Ranger, the replacement. Luckily, though, he didn't have to be the leader, as that spot was taken up by somebody else, but he did have to be a cool Red Ranger. And so, he did that with skill and ferocity and a black belt in Taekwondo. Even though Rocky was not the leader, he didn't really need to be the leader to be memorable. I always remember Rocky Steve Cardenas fights because he was very fierce, he was very ferocious, and he was very quick, lightning fast. Like at the time, the 3 big fighters on the show, which I will discuss 2 of them later, they were really good. You really had to stand out, and Steve Cardenas was able to stand in there with the best of them. Jumping ahead many generations, we are going with, I think I'm at number 5. Number 5, Yoshi Siddhar. Yoshi Siddhar is the most recent Ranger on this list. However, he was a Ranger quite a few years ago. Quite a few being, I don't know, like 6 or 7, well past when I stopped watching. But he is one of the few, like, very legit martial artists on this list. And I don't know if he would agree with me saying he's legit, because Yoshi Siddhar's martial arts background is much like Martial Club and probably many others of a certain generation, where he never took like traditional classes. He grew up watching movies, watching TV shows, watching Power Rangers, in fact, and he just started self-training, and he did a bit of XMA, which I will talk about a little bit later. And yeah, that's how he learned martial arts, and he took that into actually becoming a Power Ranger, which is pretty dope. And it's very rare for the time period, because after, well, I believe when Disney acquired Power Rangers in the early 2000s, they started hiring union actors, and it was good they hired union actors who were athletic and maybe had some martial arts ability. However, most of them stopped doing their own fight scenes because union, insurance, all that stuff, Disney not wanting to spend the money if they got hurt, stuff like that, and so they would get more stunt doubles and stuff like that. Whereas back in the 90s, Saban wanted to go as cheap as possible, and he would just hire martial artists who could act to do their own fight scenes because it was the cheapest, but it was also non-union. That's why the first 3 Rangers left, because they were just getting hurt and not getting paid enough because it was non-union, and it was pretty sketchy. But Yoshi Siddhar, like I said, being pretty rare, actually a pretty efficient martial artist as a Power Ranger. And he got to do a good handful of his own fight scenes, not a lot, but many of them. I have watched most of them on YouTube, and I like them a lot. However, he is mostly here for his work post Power Rangers, as maybe 1 or 2 other Rangers on this list may be, because I have mostly seen him on Gameology videos where he's very entertaining, but fighting with Jay Quan, Brian Sloyer, Aaron Toney, maybe a little bit of the Martial Club guys on YouTube. Anytime I see Yoshi pop up in a YouTube short film, I always know it's going to be good, because Yoshi Siddhar is awesome. I didn't say what Ranger he was. He was the Blue Dino Charge Ranger. I didn't watch it, so I can't tell you if that season's good, so I don't know. He's also in The Paper Tigers. Great movie. He doesn't do a whole lot because he's the younger version of one of the characters, but he does also get like a montage of fight scenes at the beginning where he is very awesome, very fast, very electric, very entertaining. I would like to see Yoshi Siddhar become a very big martial arts star, or just movie star in general. I think that would be fantastic. Now we are going to my favorite Power Ranger season. That is number 4, Dan Southworth. Dan Southworth, very decorated martial artist, came into Power Rangers Time Force in like 2001 with a background in Kempo, Taekwondo, Judo, and Jeet Kune Do, and he ruled. He put those skills on display as the Quantum Ranger, one of the coolest, the baddest Rangers to ever Ranger. He was the stubborn 6th Ranger who was shoot first and ask questions later. Or he would just kick you in the face. Honestly, he would just usually show up to a fight scene, beat the crap out of a mutant, and just screw off. It's pretty awesome. Power Rangers Time Force was 20 years ago, and it's still regarded as one of the best Power Rangers seasons ever. Is that all because of Dan Southworth? Probably not, but it helped quite a bit. Anyway, yes, Dan Southworth absolutely killed it as the Time Force Quantum Ranger. He is still to this day one of my very favorite Rangers. I think his helmet design and everything was awesome. He totally fit the character. However, this is also one of the cases where I loved everything he did after being a Ranger. He was also the voice of Virgil in Devil May Cry 3, which is very cool. But he is awesome in the film Broken Path alongside Johnny Bosch, a film that's a video I made a few weeks ago that you should go watch. I'll put a link up here. And then he is Kenshi in Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2. He has one of the best fight scenes in that entire show, which pretty much just sums up Dan Southworth being one of the coolest people to be in anything he's in, because Dan Southworth is just awesome. If there is any actor from Power Rangers that I wish would have been an awesome, huge action megastar, it may be Dan Southworth. The man is epic. Let's head back all the way to Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where we will discuss number 3. I think I'm on number 3. Johnny Youngbosch. Now, I gushed about Johnny Bosch a lot in the Broken Path video, as he is in that movie, and he is awesome in that movie. But Johnny Bosch was simply one of the coolest Rangers. Also, he may be like the second or third most episodes for a Ranger. He's definitely up there as one of the most legendary Rangers, because he also enjoys returning and kicking ass all over again. He was, of course, the replacement for Zack, aka the actor Walter Jones. When Walter Jones left, he became the second Black and White Morphin Power Ranger, where he just stood alongside. He was one of the best martial artists of that entire show. He is maybe, in my opinion, he's the top 3, obviously, as he's number 3 here. But if you asked a lot of people, they would probably say that Johnny Youngbosch is top 3 best martial artists in Power Rangers. Anyway, he went on to be the Green Zeo Ranger, and of course the first Green Turbo Ranger. He would return a few times, and anytime he ever returns, it doesn't matter how old he is, you know that Johnny Youngbosch is gonna do something amazing. He came in with a background in Kung Fu, and he utilized it every chance he got. I can only imagine that he got to choreograph his own fight scenes, because his fights are simply just too good to imagine that he wasn't completely behind it himself. He is a super creative person, he is an incredible martial artist, and he's one of the best. His fight scenes are almost unmatched in entertainment value. But of course, post Power Rangers, he made Broken Path, which is incredible. He is most famous now for being an anime voice actor. He has voiced almost all of your favorite characters in any anime. I want to say Trigun, and of course Bleach, and a lot of others. We love Johnny Bosch. Everyone loves Johnny Bosch, whether they be Power Ranger fans or anime fans. And of course, all of us would just love to see Johnny Bosch do fight scenes, because Johnny Bosch rules in fight scenes. I actually think I have him here at number 4, but he may be number 3. Because I can't tell you. Anyway, number 3 on this list, which is weird because I said Johnny Bosch would be number 3, top 3, but Mike Chat. Number 3 is Mike Chat. Mike Chat has an incredible background in martial arts, which he brought in as the Blue Lightspeed Rescue Power Ranger, where he brought in Taekwondo, Wushu, and Shurei-Ryu Karate. And he's just so fun to watch. He is the best martial artist in his season. He has the best fight scenes in his season. He also has a very cool, very fun fight scene with a whole episode where it's kind of like the main plot of the episode is him fighting David Leitch, who of course at the time was just a stuntman, pretty prominent stuntman. But he of course went on to co-direct John Wick. David Leitch, not Mike Chat, and then become one of the biggest directors in Hollywood. He's directed Deadpool 2, he directed Hobbs and Shaw, he directed Atomic Blonde, he's directed a few other things, and I can't wait to see anything else he does. And it's just very cool to see this prominent director these days being just a stuntman fighting the Blue Power Ranger. Anyway, let's talk about Mike Chat, not David Leitch. Post Power Rangers, Mike Chat is famous for creating XMA, Extreme Martial Arts, which is a combination of martial arts, particularly probably like Taekwondo and Karate, where it's a combination of martial arts and acrobatics and gymnastics. Mostly made for entertainment value, but hey, it's extremely entertaining, and I appreciate it. If you haven't seen Mike Chat perform or explain XMA, there is a very good documentary on XMA. He was even on Fight Science for Discovery Channel or something. Mike Chat is pretty legendary, I think, these days in martial arts community kind of thing. We appreciate Mike Chat. We love Mike Chat. Mike Chat is a lot of fun. Number 2, big surprise for a lot of people, especially the martial arts fan or the Power Rangers fans. Number 2 is the most legendary ranger to ever ranger, and that is Jason David Frank. Yes, we all know about the people with 2 first names. You can't trust people with 2 first names. However, some people are just angels or something. They have 3 first names. Can you trust them? Of course you can. They're a Power Ranger. You simply cannot make a list of Power Ranger martial artists without including Tommy Oliver. Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank, is the most legendary ranger to ever ranger. He was brought in as the Green Ranger, which was really only a temporary character. He was bad, then he went good, and then he lost his powers, and then he was gone forever. Why would you bring back a dude after he's lost his powers? Well, turns out kids were writing in. Kids loved Tommy. Tommy became super popular, and they had to bring him back as the White Ranger. Eventually, he would become the leader as the White Ranger, and then become the Red Zeo Ranger and the Red Turbo Ranger, leave for quite a few years, and then come back during Dino Thunder as the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. And I, as an 8-year-old or 7, I don't remember how old I was hyped to see Tommy Oliver back. Tommy was the one who he changed the game for Power Rangers fight scenes. At the time you had Austin St. John, who, as I said, really didn't have a lot of flair. He was very cool to watch, though. And then, of course, you had the hip-hop Kido. But then Tommy comes in, and he's just Hia! And that Hia is legendary on its own. But he brought an originality in just excitement and charisma to his just kicks, his punches, his Hias, his hair being long. The dude just looked dope. His fight scenes to this day are still some of the best. I mean, I've said that a few times for a few of these Rangers, but I don't know how to explain why his fights were just so good. He just clearly loves martial arts, and he wanted to display it the best he could on the biggest stage. So he became a Power Ranger, and he gave us incredible fight scenes. Somewhere the Dragon Zord is just wrecking shop. Of course, his martial arts background is just astounding, and so for that I have to refer to a Jason David Frank wiki, which I hope I still have here. If not, I'll just give it a good googs real quick. 1 second. Jason David Frank. Alright, so if Wikipedia is correct, Jason David Frank is an 8th Dan black belt in Shotokan Karate, a black belt in Wado Ryu Karate, black belt in Taekwondo, black belt in Judo, purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a yarn degree in Muay Thai. So if that is legit, then Jason David Frank may be one of the most dangerous men on the planet. Of course, he also had 4 amateur MMA fights and 1 pro fight. He is, as far as I'm aware of, undefeated in MMA, and then he retired like a frickin' boss. And then he invented his own style of Toso Kundo, so he's pretty prominent figure in the martial arts community. He's more than just the accolades of his belts and rankings and stuff like that. He's also in several Hall of Fames, and he's the inspiration for a lot of children. When you watch somebody be so good at something that it just inspires you to do it. I don't know, watching Christian Hosoi or frickin' Nigel Houston, Mitchie Brusco, any of those people skateboard, or watching Bob Ross paint, I don't know, Shawn Michaels wrestle. When you're watching someone who just be good at something, it really makes you want to do it. And I can only imagine how many children saw Jason David Frank throw an awesome tornado kick, like a frickin' Jean-Claude Van Damme level tornado kick, and just were like, I want to be a martial artist. To this day, again, I don't watch Power Rangers anymore, but to this day, if there is an anniversary episode coming on, I make sure I watch it, because I know Jason David Frank is going to be there, Tommy Oliver is going to show up, and he's going to do something amazing. And he always does. Except for that Oh, except for that 20th anniversary episode. We don't talk about the 20th anniversary. That was a very disappointing. Not because of Jason David Frank, not because of Tommy, but because that whole episode was bad. 25th anniversary, though. 25th anniversary, they kind of nailed it. So that's it. You know, I've listed the most epic ranger to ever ranger. I have said the most legendary ranger there is. Who else could be number one? Number one on this list is Kane Kasugi. Kane Kasugi, which I just stumbled upon this on Instagram or Facebook one day, was the black ninja Kaku Ranger. I don't know what any of that means other than ninja and sentai. Yes. He is the only one I know by name. He is the son of the legendary Sho Kasugi, and I was introduced to him outside of Power Rangers. I was introduced to him, I don't know, probably through Godzilla Final Wars. But the few fight scenes I have seen from his season of Super Sentai, Kaku Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger, were very good. I liked his fight scenes a lot. I like Kane Kasugi a lot. He has one of the best fight scenes of the 2010s against Scott Adkins in Ninja 2 Shadow of a Tear. Their final fight in that film is brutal, epic, and downright legendary, and you should all go watch that movie. He's number one here because I thought it would be a big surprise not having Jason David Frank at number one and having a dude from the Sentai series at number one. I don't watch any Sentai, so other people are probably like, there's so many other people in Sentai. I don't know any of them. And that's, nothing against them. It's on me. I haven't watched any of it. That's my fault. I love Kane Kasugi. I love him a lot. Anytime he's in something, I get excited. Although he was in that, I don't know, One Night in Bangkok with Mark Dacascos. And that movie's fine, but it's not an action movie, and they're both on screen at the same time, Mark and Kane, and you know that they can put something together that's gonna be awesome, and then they just don't. That was disappointing. He's in the Dead or Alive movie. That exists. That's all I really got to say about that. I just thought it'd be fun to have someone else at number one other than Jason David Frank. Kane Kasugi rules. What's your favorite Kane Kasugi fight scene? Who's your favorite martial artist in Power Rangers? I'm sure I'm missing others. I'm sure I'm missing Peter Sudarso. That is, of course, Yoshi's brother, who is maybe in the current season of Power Rangers, the one going on as I'm recording this right now. He may be the Blue Ranger on that or something. I'm not sure. But he is a Power Ranger, and he is cool too. He is also in the movie Paper Tigers. I'm talking too long. Tell me your thoughts on these things in the comment section down below. Your favorite Ranger? Am I wrong about some of these Rangers? How would you rank them? Who's your number one? It's probably Jason David Frank, although it might even be Johnny Bosch, or it's Dan Southworth. I don't know your opinion. You can tell me down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Head over to Facebook, there is the Martial Arts Film Freak Facebook page, Instagram, Martial Arts Film Freak, Tristan_Glover_ on the Twitter, and Martial Arts Film Freak on TikTok. Yes, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. This thing's fucking cool.